Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. So, Andy, I hear Radiohead's new album dropped today. What's it like, this Radiohead album?
Greg, it's called The King of Limbs, a pretty obvious reference to a 1,000-year-old oak tree in Wiltshire's Savernake Forest. And it's everything you would expect from a Radiohead album. It's electronic, but in a completely naturalistic way. It's wildly experimental, yet feels soothingly familiar. It's full of raw emotion, but in a way that really makes you think. It's layered with danceable grooves that demand you sit still and pay attention to them. And of course, Thom Yorke's indecipherable lyrics are utterly perfect. In short, it's another triumph for the world's greatest rock band. And as with every Radiohead album, a signpost to the future of music.
Wow. Now, Andy, how many times have you listened to it already?
No, I haven't listened to it, Greg. Not necessary.
I get the impression that by listening to the new Radiohead album, you actually detract from its beauty. Better not to listen to it and preserve its purity.
That's exactly right, Greg. Everything Radiohead does is crafted to perfection. You don't want to take the chance you might ruin it by listening to it.
I know that when I listen to Radiohead, I listen to them with the sound completely off. It's my way of protecting their art from my sophomoric sensibilities.
And the band thanks you for that, Greg.
I'm glad.
Absolutely.
All right. I'll see you later.
Okay. Iowa boy refuses to wrestle girl. Normal size Greg, when Tiny Greg said that he didn't think the kid wrote his own statement because it was really eloquent, you suggested he had a publicist. Like a publicist has ever written anything eloquent?
I'm sorry for your loss, Andy.
Thank you. I don't know what that means.
I have no idea what you just said.
No, okay. All right. Then I'll just move on.
Dude.
We'll act like it never happened.
Okay.
All right.
Andy has a habit of saying that a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Saturday mornings.
Yeah. Usually it involves exchange of money, though.
Yeah.
Brooke, you were unclear why this kid said it goes against his religion for him to wrestle a girl. His dad is a minister in the Believers in Grace Fellowship, an independent Pentecostal church that believes young men and women shouldn't touch in a familiar manner.
Okay, well, now I know. Well,
Yep. Yep.
I usually touch women in an unfamiliar manner, so I'm fine.
Yeah. You also usually make up words like infamiliar.
Yeah.
but why would he then enter?
Shakespeare made up words.
Why would he enter into a wrestling match that he knows girls compete in? Wouldn't he just go to a?
Because
why did he do
it was a
the
playoff,
co-ed
though.
thing?
It wasn't like the playoffs.
Yeah, he made it was the state championships, I believe, and he happened to in the draw.
The chance of his
he drew
drawing
her.
the girl was actually pretty remote.
Exactly. Bill, I want to get to that. You said there was a factor that nobody's talking about here, basically that the boy was afraid of getting an erection. Why are you assuming he's straight, homophobe?
Come on. He's a... Why are we going there?
I think it's a legitimate question.
All right.
Well, he's allowed to touch boys in inappropriate ways.
I'm just...
Are you suggesting that all wrestlers
It's
are?
inappropriate,
I
absolutely.
am just asking questions.
All right.
You're questioning boldly.
Essie, you said, as the Offspring said, keep them separated. You understand that song was a searing indictment of gang violence, not a condemnation of co-ed sports.
No, I
right?
didn't. I had no idea, but it's a catchy tune. And by the way, you look like you're going to Johnny Cash night at a lesbian bar.
Excellent. Earlier today, I got told I looked like a gay bouncer.
Nice. We're on the same page. I have to say, full disclosure, that was a Joan Rivers line.
Oh,
But a nice gay bouncer, by the way.
absolutely.
All right.
Aren't they all? Greg Log protesting at people's homes. Essie, you said just be glad this isn't Belgium. They protested there by going naked, and they've been without a government for 249 days.
Yeah.
I think by now it's 250, but either way, you're right. It's a modern-day world record. But more to the point, why do you say this like it's a bad thing? I have a newfound respect for the Belgians, and I invite all my fellow libertarians to move to Bruges.
Now, here's why this sucks. Because if you don't care enough about your country to flaunt, the lack of government by stripping naked, you allow 249 days, 250 days to go by. You don't deserve a country. Just call yourself part of France. Annex. Annex.
I don't understand.
Well, you wouldn't.
Yeah. No government, walk around naked. It sounds great.
Sounds amazing, actually.
right?
Right.
Tell me
Thank you.
more about this hot new club named Bruges. Is that in Chelsea?
It's with 9 U's.
Yeah.
By the way, King of the Belgians, Albert II, says he and his rubber ducky Gustav have no intention of abdicating the throne. Just so you know.
Damn it.
The only other thing, I always feel like protests in Wisconsin are just an excuse to break out the old hacky sack.
Yeah. Madison, you know that Madison is considered the home of the hacky sack.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
Hacky
that
sack
it's-
heaven.
When you turn 15, it is mandatory that you take hacky sack lessons.
It's like a Wisconsin bar mitzvah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Kentucky County lifts ban on smoking in bars, restaurants, private businesses. Tiny Greg, you said the Campbell County Fiscal Court, whatever the hell that is, voted 3-1 against the ban. The Kentucky Constitution of 1891, I believe, gave the name fiscal court to the body in each county that acts as that county's government.
Just to point out that there's not much difference between Tiny Greg and Big Greg.
Oh, there's a huge
Is it there?
difference.
Is it
Trust
there?
me on that one.
Yeah. Also, height.
It was a cold winter, Greg. It was a cold winter.
No.
Brooke, you said we don't have a constitutional right to kill ourselves and inconvenience others. I would say there's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't kill yourself or inconvenience others.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's a preference. And if the state decides they want to allow smoking in public places, so be it. I'm just not going to go there.
Okay.
Wow, I guess they're really going to miss you.
And I'm going to miss visiting that
Like
state,
you were
that's for
planning- you were
sure.
planning-
Because
Planning to
otherwise,
go there.
you were thinking about getting a condo there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
absolutely.
they lost
Ask
out
your
on that,
real
didn't
estate
they?
agent.
No. Essie, I think you hit upon the truth here. A state that's known for its bourbon ain't banning smoking.
Well, and it's let's not forget, it also grows tobacco. I mean, that was the point I was trying to make.
yeah, that too.
This is a cottage industry to these
That
people.
too. Yeah.
And thoroughbred horses.
Just quickly, fourth grader suspended for putting "kick me" sign on a classmate's back. First of all, so unoriginal.
Yeah.
Come on, kid.
I think it's charming.
Was it kick me? I thought it was.
Nostalgic.
Yes.
So innocent. It's almost not bullying.
It's just it's been done. It's hack.
You know he had overalls with like one of those little pea shooters in the pocket
Right.
in the back.
Exactly.
Put an alfalfa.
Doing some slot car racing after school.
Yeah, he probably wears beads.
I like this kid.
I know.
I mean it. I think,
You identify.
he's a throwback.
He's
It
you.
is a throwback. Yeah.
He's a throwback. He's using the old school kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yep.
He stole a kid's marble, see?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
That's it? That's all you got?
I'm told I have to go.
All right.
Raspberries.
Go away, Andy. All right, so last week, I told you how much I enjoy caressing the elbows of rotund carpenters. And I do, and I wouldn't lie about that. But I also love charity, which is why I'm so excited over the latest and final bid for my piece of artwork, which is simply called David Gregory's Hair. Last night I received more bids, but nothing beat John Wimsat of Valencia, California, who offered $2,000. As I noted before, the artwork is not finished, and I will be adding an additional unicorn and a fluffy McNutter along with our autographs on it. Since no one beat John's bid, John will write a check which will go to the Wounded Warriors Project, which helps out wounded vets. Congratulations, John, and we will email you shortly with instructions on where to send the money. Now, it's time for the new art. This is a piece I drew of my imaginary childhood in which little Greg was raised by fabulous unicorn parents. I call this piece How I Wish My Life Was and Not the Way It Really Was, which sucked. So if you want to win this art, you'll have to email your bid to redeye@foxnews.com in order to be considered. One note, the other night, a guy by the name of Garrett Wolfson offered $500 for the drawing, provided I convince Essie Cup to go out with him. Dude, just send me 50 cash and I'll make it happen. Finally, let's not forget the real message behind the auction. It's not about charity. It's about me being awesome.
Indeed.
Yes. All right.
It's going to be a long wait.
Yes. Coming up, are poor people just a burden on society? Brooke Goldstein on her new book, Poor People Are Just a Burden on Society. Truly a monster. But first, it's CPAC on crack. Red Eye heads to D.C. and gives a speech, the segment that no one is talking about. Last weekend, Bill, Andy, and I ventured to the Conservative Political Action Conference in Washington, D.C., where we spoke to a sold-out auditorium full of hot-looking college students and frumpy journalists. It was there that we met a lot of amazing Red Eye fans, truly amazing, talked with some inspiring young leaders, and drank ourselves into a mindless, sweaty lump of shivering madness. And we all came back with stories to tell and videos to show. Also, some really weird and mysterious bruises. Check it out.
Why do you think young people are so predominantly liberal?
When you're young, you're driven by a need to impress, a need for attention, and you tend to romanticize things. And by the very nature of being a liberal, you tend to be the issue tend to be more romantic. Homelessness, I mean, who wouldn't be for helping a guy down on his luck?
As you get older, you realize you don't know everything, and once you realize that, you think, well, if I don't know everything, people in Washington probably don't know everything, so they probably shouldn't be running everyone's life. And you become a conservative, or if you're smart, a libertarian.
I have a problem with right-wing activists and left-wing activists because they take themselves so seriously.
Well, and when you did that on Ariana Huffington's blog, she liked that. I mean,
Yeah.
she actually, not to steal your thunder, she called Greg an ombudsman. Like, she's like, oh, Greg is our ombudsman. We got 2 o'clock to the left because Greg's got the clear to abroad.
Andy, how are your cats?
Bill? We'll handle this one for Andy. Andy does not speak about his cats. I represent both his cats. They are available for commercial opportunities. They will not do an interview without me. And please not ask any political questions. Particularly Stormy, David the racist. Pixel is not a racist.
You're on at like 3 in the morning. You would be great for college students. Come to our campus. Unfortunately, I am not allowed to go anywhere near.
On the other hand, I have a lot of business cards, so afterwards, let me know.
Yes. Annie loves going to college campuses, often dressed as a woman. What's the difference between proper and improper spending? I'll let Annie handle that one since I've been talking.
You jerk.
I can answer it. Proper table dancers, improper strippers.
Proper before 11 p.m., after 11 p.m., improv.
Proper stuff that you can't do on your own. You know, I can't. I have tried to form a standing army, but I can't. What is the most challenging idea affecting the conservative movement? I think it just always goes back to the general stereotype that was out of your control for ages, which is that you guys aren't fun.
I would say the other big challenge facing conservatives is if you're married, don't go on Craigslist and sext.
If you had to marry a liberal, who would it be? I can't say I'm married. I can't answer that question.
Yes, he's not here. Yeah, he's married. Single.
Where do babies come from besides unicorns? I don't think I have to answer that.
Babies are mythological creatures.
Yes.
Don't try to fool us on that one.
Question from Megan McCain. How come nobody invited me?
What Obama policy is the biggest joke and why? The biggest joke for me is that he pretends not to smoke.
Something government interfering in the economy.
I have a question.
Sure.
Have you noticed how hot the girls are at CPAC this year?
I don't see beauty, all right? And I find it offensive.
And I don't see gender, so really.
I've noticed hot
People.
Yeah.
If you could have Justin Bieber show up for one night, what would you ask him?
What are you doing later?
The reason why I bring that up because I follow Justin Bieber on Twitter and I often respond to him. And the reason why I do this
First
is
of all, he's a huge talent. And second of all, Justin Bieber pictures are cheaper than wallpaper. Third of all, you're just jealous.
He can dress this up in any kind of pseudo-scientific mumbo-jumbo he wants. The reason he follows Justin Bieber on Twitter is he's hoping he'll notice him.
My question is, where are you guys partying tonight?
Where aren't we?
Thank you. I hope I can talk. This is the fault of the Red Eye Boys. It took me to some kid bar last night.
bring that up.
You're joking.
No, I'm not kidding. America, I don't know why you hate America. What is this? You want to make out? a lovely time. Oh, look, Andy's joined us.
Oh, hey.
I'm on a 3-shot.
Yeah.
It's a TV term.
Yeah, but among other things. Andy, what was your fondest memory?
My fondest memory was just I had no idea I sounded that muffled.
Yeah.
I really have to work on my diction, apparently.
Yes, you sounded terrible. It was an embarrassment for
I
everybody.
I remember none of it. So
Yeah.
it looked like we had a good time. I think it looked like we did okay, assuming that was really us.
Yeah.
And that's all I know.
I have an interesting question for SC. You were there, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah. Didn't you have a panel you were supposed to do Saturday?
What happened there?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, I went out with you guys. I actually had Anne's disease. Literally could not talk in the morning.
You had what disease?
And I could not talk. I was actually the first to leave, y'all. Of all of you. I was the first to leave that night to go home to my hotel room knowing I had a panel the next morning, but I couldn't talk.
Well, and also knowing that you were already rip-roaring drunk from starting to drink at noon that day.
I had a show that day.
Essie, didn't you also steal a bottle of champagne?
Yes.
You gave me a bottle of champagne to hold for you and then never came back to claim it.
First of all,
After she ran away.
Yeah.
Drinking and holding is not the same thing.
Sounds like theft to me.
I was responsible and I was punished for it in the morning.
How much did you drink, really?
You know, commensurate with my body size.
Last question to Bill. I noticed that you stayed an extra day through the tweets I saw in which you were seen entering often women's bathrooms.
Well, here's the thing, Greg. I got a bladder the size of the dime, and the men's room was always occupied by Andy and another dude. So I had to go to the women's room to do what nature asked me to do.
I wasn't even there, so you're
Well,
just,
yeah, you were in the
you're just a
bathroom.
weird.
Yeah, after that happened, he would already. Okay, we got to take
And the
a
guy
break.
came out wearing this turtleneck.
When we return, mail time. Terrible.
Mail time. Mail time. Mail time.
It's mail time. The address is righteye@foxnews.com. You write, I read, then it's over between us. Here we go. Larry from Pittsburgh leads things off. First of all, love the show. I started watching thanks to the DVR. I've been preaching about the show to anyone who will listen. The feedback has been nearly unanimous. The humor on Red Eye is an acquired taste. My family and friends who I thought were semi-hip are not. They are not crazy about it, putting it nicely, and their perception of me has changed. They're lost. You, Bill, and Andy put on one hell of a show. All right, Larry, you're a smart dude, and I thank you for being a friend. But if you're a real pal, you would choose our show over your family and your other friends. Seriously, if they don't get Red Eye, then they don't get you. Not the way that I get you, Larry. Larry, we are your new family now. But as your new family, we expect some things. You need to hop on the first bus to New York, bring your bank book, and any kind of prescription painkillers. Your new life begins with us now. Stan emails us. I just wanted to say, keep up the good work. Stan, what if I say that I don't want to keep up the good work? What are you going to do about it? Just as I thought. Nothing. Powerless guy. Mindy emails us. Why are you wearing your wedding ring on a different finger? Is everything okay? Mindy, everything is fine. I'm not wearing my ring on a different finger. I just had my ring finger and my middle finger switched in an experimental surgery. The fingers are not rejected or infected and actually heal properly. I plan on doing the exact same procedure to the front and back of my head. That way I can watch people checking out my butt. Complex, but it's worth it. Jack from Granger, Indiana writes, can someone find you an earpiece that will stay in your ear, please? Jack, that is not an earpiece, but my good friend Earwig Jones, who I found living near the train tracks one summer. Here he is. There he is. Fluffy McNutter's in love with Earwig Jones. I adopted him, and now Earwig Jones comes with me wherever I go. I love Earwig Jones, and right now he's as snug as a bug, chewing away part of my brainstem. It's why I smell colors and I taste noise. Finally, Basil, or Basil, whatever you want to call it, New York City writes, I like Gwyneth Paltrow. I enjoy her movies a lot. All right, Gwyneth. If you're going to write in and disguise yourself as someone named Basil, at least use an email address other than gpaltrow@gmail.com and spell your name correctly. Honestly, I don't know how your wife puts up with you. All right. We'll close things out with the post-game wrap-up from TV's Andy Levy. And to see clips of recent shows, go to foxnews.com/redeye. A reminder, you can watch us Saturday night at 2 a.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Pacific Time. Coming up Monday on the next Red Eye, well, he served as Fox News Channel's chief White House correspondent for many years. He's the congressional correspondent for National Journal. It's Major Garrett making his debut on the program, and he'll be here in studio looking like Major Garrett. Back to TV's Andy Levy for the post-game wrap-up.
Thanks, Greg. Hey, Brooke, you headed to St. Louis in a little bit?
That's right, I am. Missouri Attorney General Christopher Koster and the Lawfare Project, which I direct, are hosting Ambassador John Bolton, and he's speaking about lawfare and implications on U.S. national security. It's going to be a thrilling event.
Wow. Excellent. When is this?
It's March 15th at the St. Louis Club, and we're very grateful to Attorney General Christopher Koster, so thank you.
Aren't we all?
And me.
Hey, normal size Greg, you read any good books lately?
You know, it's funny that you should ask. I try to read a book a week. This is one of the best books I've read in a long, long time. It's Tax Time. This is called Many Happy Returns, about H&R Block by Tom Block. And anybody who wants to build a business and grow a business should read it. It's a great read about, and it's tax time, everybody. That's my 2 cents.
You're the only guy I know who'd read a book about taxes.
Yeah, wait a minute.
You know what? It's tax time only if you pay your taxes.
Yeah.
All right.
Quiet, Bill.
So, can we fix that in edit?
Yeah. Essie, you ready for Daytona?
Ready as I'm going to be. Tony's starting back at 25, but it's okay. It's all right.
It doesn't really matter down there.
It doesn't.
No.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Some weird racing, though, with this. It's like couples racing.
I was calling it date night.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah. I think this
absolutely.
banter's adorable. What are you guys going to do? Just bring back moonlighting?
Maybe.
That was my favorite.
Go smoke.
Thank you.
Don't start cracking on Moonlighting.
Yeah.
Back to you, buzzkill, tiny Greg.
How much time? 20 hard? All right. That's TV talk where we have 20 seconds. But now it's about 15 seconds because I've been talking. Probably around 10 seconds now. What do you guys think, huh?
Yeah.
10
Way to
seconds.
kill him.
Brooke, Bill, Essie, Greg, great job, everybody. About 4 seconds left. 2.
I wish my brother happy birthday.
Screw you, brother.